Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Broadway Jets YouTube channel. You'll know me from Twitter as NYJ Mike. I'm joined as always by the master of receipts, NYJ Matt. And Matt, the football season is right upon us. We are 6 days out from the opening game of the NFL season. It is officially September. We have all 53 players on the Jets right on this lovely list in front of us that Matt has so nicely put together. So we're going to tier list all 53 guys on the Jets roster. There's 6 categories up there. We are fired up.
Mike, we're ready to go. We always forget to bring it up. If you are here, don't forget to hit subscribe. 80% of our viewers do not hit subscribe. Takes a minute. We will follow you back if you DM us and say, hey, I'm a huge fan of the show.
Yes.
But Mike, we got 50 guys because 3 of them didn't have a profile picture. Like Issa Poles didn't have one.
Oh.
Where it was like the Jet logo. So I kept it to 50. Nearly every player on the 2025 Jets we're going to rank. And we have a few categories we'll go through. We can change the categories as we go. But don't forget, hit subscribe and comment what we did wrong. I'm sure we're going to make mistakes. And then I actually looked back at the 2024 one. We were pretty solid outside of like Aaron Rodgers being like the top 5 player on the team. We did a pretty good job of predicting what that was going to look like.
Which always makes me how did 2024 happen like that? Everything we kind of thought was going to happen did, and then they won 5 games. But we are in a new era of Jets football, man, with Aaron Glenn and Justin Fields and a lot of returning young, cool, talented guys. So it's going to be very interesting. Who should we start with?
Without further ado, we can get right into it. Tony Adams in our year-end 2024 had his own category. Do you want to guess what that category was?
Was it Woody Johnson hates him?
Yeah, Woody Johnson's arch nemesis. Yeah, Mike, Tony Adams is a weird one because going into 2023, I believe, maybe 2024 too, he didn't play in the preseason. Robert Saleh was basically like, he is our starting safety. He is a blue chip player for us. He cannot get hurt in these games. And he was gifted that starting role. And outside of a pick against Philadelphia in 2023, Tony Adams has been very much a mid guy, right? Nothing crazy based on how they hyped him up. Mike, where do you see Tony Adams on our list here?
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't really. Well, it's going to be what Cisco and it depends what to do with Malachi Moore.
Yep.
Right. So I would say just do your job, because a solid year would mean I think he's going to be the lion's share starter at safety. You did bring up the Eagles pick is probably, I don't know, one of the top 5 regular season moments over the last 10 years the Jets had, I think.
Which is crazy, and you're right.
Yeah, but yeah,
that game was where DJ Reed and Sauce Gardner were out.
Yes.
And we were like, we're going to lose by 30. I didn't even go to the game. You ended up going.
I know our buddy Pat sat in our seats with me. That was a signature in-person moment. Oh, yeah. Oh, Pat's great. Yeah. But yeah, do your job, Tony. I'm curious to see what happens in the Jets secondary now, Matt.
Yeah, it's probably the biggest question mark now on the defensive side, now that you've filled a few interior defensive linemen in a trade. Mike, moving on to Braylon Allen, and I think we're going to end up putting him in solid year, but I'd love to put him in a great season. I think he's going to have early on 10 to 12 carries a game, maybe go for 60 yards a game. I think, and then he can pop off if he's running well, and the Jets somehow get a lead, and you just work him and Brees and Isaiah Davis. So I'll probably put him in solid year, but let me know if you disagree and you want to go with great or just do your job.
Well, the Jets haven't had much of an offensive identity recently. So this is going to be the first year where you figure, hey, we're going to run the ball 500 times. Yep. And there's 200 plus carries for both him and Brees in those 500 carries. Like, Brees only ran the ball 209 times last year, Matt. And he was clearly the lead feature back. So there's going to be a lot of carries to go around. I agree, solid year. Maybe we have to make some kind of tier in between that at some point. We'll see. Because if we put someone in great season, it's a big buzzword, but we'll see. Who the fuck is that?
That is Tyler Barron.
Oh, is this the edge from Miami?
That is right. And I think Tyler Barron is a no expectations guy. He's not going to hurt the team. We're not even going to consider him to do his job, I don't think, yet.
I think I saw him at the airport Like,
Are you basing that on the photo right here?
no. There was I would never recognize him based on his face, but he was wearing a Jets backpack
Okay.
and like a Miami thing, and it was like a big dude. I don't know who I was with. I gotta ask them.
Is that recently?
I think it was on the way to your bachelor party. I think I was with Tommy Merck. We gotta
I
ask
love that.
Tommy. Yeah,
I
yeah.
like it. Okay. Not bad.
I just saw like a big dude at the airport. It's just him.
It's funny. We're on to Andrew Beck. I thought this was Austin McNamara, and it's not.
Oh,
That is Andrew Beck.
and they have a very similar name. True. Where is Austin McNamara?
He's down here, I believe,
Holy shit,
next to Brady McGregor.
it's tough. Honestly, like just do your job. You know.
I think that's fair, and I think Andrew Beck is going to score a touchdown week 1.
Week
That's my
one.
bold prediction. I'm going to have him in the what was he cooking parlay potentially
Wow.
to get a little juice there. There's something weird going on in the NFL, and Mike, we've talked about it a little bit too. The first quarter of the year last year was like the worst football I've ever watched across the entire NFL. It took a ton of teams a while to get going, and what travels playing defense and running the football. And if you're on first and goal from the 2 and it's too far for a QB sneak, give the ball to Andrew Beck. And they obviously want to use him a bit. So I'm going to throw him in that parlay, I believe.
I sincerely hope that they hand the ball to Braylon Allen and not Andrew Beck, but you never know. Why not mix it up a little bit? Keep him on the toes. Where's that, Michael Carter?
We got Michael Carter and Mike, I'll probably again maybe fit into 2 tiers here. I have high expectations for Michael Carter. I really do. He's a top 5 slot corner when healthy. And last year he battled injuries. And what's funny is his first 2 years, it felt like every time, or even say, first 2.5 years, every time a ball was thrown his way, he was blanketing the guy, like all over him. Truly a shutdown corner.
Yep.
And he faced a lot of tough guys in his first 2 years in the slot, and he battled every week, always graded out high. And then last year, he always felt like he was maybe like a half step away, and he was battling injuries, and it was leg, back, hip. It was everything.
It was a
So
lot.
the fact that he's back and healthy, I have high expectations for him.
Well, Matt, we also said that in 2023, the NFL created a new slot corner all pro position, and we deemed it that should be called the Michael Carter position. So, and then he has a down year in 24, like we talked about. Michael Carter also would have 2 of the best interceptions in Jets history, if not for disgusting penalties, especially the Patriots, when the Jets would have most likely made the playoffs in 2022. Michael Carter pick 6, roughing the passer, late call against John Franklin Myers, bad call.
The worst thing about that play is I watched the flag come out, and we were sitting there together, and you were like tackling me, and I was like, they called roughing the passer. You're like, no way. And we're looking at the field, stadium's going crazy. And then even before he scored the touchdown, I'm like, they called it. And you see Mac Jones dead on the ground, and it was a horrible penalty. I mean, the amount of roughing the passer penalties that got away, and I think it actually got a little better last year, but that whole period of protect every quarterback, and you watch college football, they only throw it if it's egregious. In college football refs, they'll have 1 or 2 a game that are terrible on whatever call they make, but they're way better than NFL, which is insane because most of them work at Dunkin' Donuts on the weekend or on the weekday.
Just call less stuff. Call less flags. It's so easy, so obvious. But yeah, Michael Carter, and the Jets need him too. You figure high expectations for a lot of the defense, especially the corners with Aaron Glenn. So we'll see. But that'll be a big boost. And if Brandon Stevens can play well, it hurt. We'll get to Brandon Stevens, but it didn't feel great paying him $4 million less than DJ Reed. You'd probably rather have DJ Reed, but he looked good in the preseason, so we shall see.
Yep. Now we're on to Jawan Briggs. I think a classic do your job guy, comes in late, just eat up the run. He's a like what did I find? I think he's in an acapella group.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll take it.
Good team camaraderie. You can sing the audibles.
Now, here's a problem, and it's weird because I put a tier for predicting a net negative year, and it's more fun to do that at the end of the year when something was terrible and you could throw them there. Right. I feel bad keeping that tier there and like maybe call it below average, but Michael Clemens is overhated to the point where he actually probably shouldn't be hated as much. We talked about it last episode. When you have 4.5 sacks, you're not the Antichrist. So where do you want to put Michael Clemens? I'd feel better with no expectations for him and maybe removing that category if we can't fit anyone in there.
Yeah, maybe we could put like below average does sound pretty good. Something like that. We could also have a category of like commonly disliked Jets and put like him and Alan Lazard and Xavier Gibson, which actually might be more fucked up. A lot of these guys are definitely gonna. There's a real chance these guys see this shit. We're just sitting here just talking shit. This guy's
Maybe like
working their ass off.
predicting a below average year.
Yeah,
And I think that's fair. I think you
that's
could throw
fair.
Clemens there. And we can put Xavier Gibson there. I do want to make a point on Xavier Gibson. And we talked about it in that episode where we hated on him for a while. I made the point that he might be dominant in practice, where he's caught every punt return. He looks good, and you can knock Pritchett if he has one drop in a game or a muff punt. And maybe he was doing that all practice and we just didn't see it because not everything's open to the public. And then that next day, Aaron Glenn came out and said Xavier Gibson's 145 of 145 on catching punts. And that's fine. I'm optimistic about that. But it's not only the muff punts that bothered me about Xavier Gibson. It would be when he didn't fair catch it and then got lit up. That could have very well been a fumble, or he fair caught it with a guy 12 yards away from him. So it was more than just catching the ball, which he didn't do well either. But I'm fine with predicting a below average year.
And man, he holds the ball like I can't understand. He puts it like in the top of his arm, so it's like sticking out so much. Like he wants to get like someone to punch at it.
Yeah,
they have to do some kind of study.
Yep. Now we're on to Andre Cisco. Mike, where do you have him?
Just do your job again too. I'm more excited about a lot. I'm very excited about a lot of Jets this year. So I don't want to overdo either of those categories. Like if Andre Cisco comes out and has 4 or 5 interceptions, that's awesome. Like that is a solid year. But for now, just be a regular starting safety. Don't do anything horrible. Don't let him bomb fair. Like the Giants game in the preseason was kind of on him.
I think that is fair. And Isaiah Davis is a guy that a lot of people probably will comment, put him in solid year. I think he's on the high end of do your job. When you're a running back 3, do your job when you go out there. Any concerns with putting him there?
No, and he was good last year. Anytime he touched the ball, felt like something good happened, but I rather see more of Brees and Braylon this year.
Yeah, and let's tease Justin Fields a little bit later. We'll get to him at the end, find a spot for him. Olu Fashanu, Mike, I'm putting in high expectations. I think he's going to have a great year, but he's not going to be a top Jet on the team.
I hope. I mean, he certainly could end up that way. Definitely. But I would put him right at the top of that category.
I think that's fair.
I think he's a better player even now than Michael Carter, especially with those injuries. Maybe at Michael Carter's peak, if Olu doesn't turn into a complete stud. But Olu's like sick.
Yeah, and doesn't have to face Micah Parsons this year, which is good. And in the Giants training camp, we give Giants fans and the team a lot of shit. They have edge rushers, and there is a ton of clips of Olu beating them. There's clips where Olu got beat, but you're happy to have him go up against different people. I'm not looking for an all-pro year out of Olu, but man, how refreshing would it feel if he put it together like a 2020 Mekhi Becton year, albeit he was a rookie, but a year that he just felt dominant that you could build around, and a guy that has a really good head on his shoulders. I mean, every interview you have with Olu, it is night and day to compare it to younger tackles that we had drafted.
What did Becton do? Did he do something insane this weekend?
So, allegedly,
I missed it.
Becton in 2022, I found a lot of tweets from, I believe, a former woman he was with. I never posted them. I never retweeted them because I didn't want to add negative traction to the Jets. But there was the
master of receipts.
There was what appeared to be a custodial dispute. Is that the right way to call it?
I really don't know what happened, so I'm asking.
I think he had a child with a woman. I don't think they're together anymore. Oh. I think then he was with a different woman who posted a ton of receipts that she is currently pregnant, all allegedly. Who knows? Also, there's a tweet that he shit his pants. I don't know if that's true or
That's
not.
what I was talking about. He
I
should.
don't know.
I thought that's what I had heard. Maybe something like that he shit his pants, and then I thought you were calling that a custodial dispute. Like the custodians were fighting over who has to clean up the shit. I don't know.
No. I think there's a lot to it, and maybe he'll address it. Maybe he won't. Like I said, I saw a lot of tweets 3 years ago that I never brought public, but I was at that time much more in the pulse to make sure that our good young players were things were going well, and they were not at that time.
With great
Hey, he got
receipt pulling power comes great responsibility.
he won the Super Bowl last year. He's got a new deal with LA. Nothing but the best, but I don't know any of the facts around that. But I do know that Nick Folk is going to have a solid year, Mike.
That's right. I would put him in the fucking top category if we could. Guys, it's so cool to have Nick Folk back.
It's crazy he kicked with Jason Taylor, and now he's playing with his kid.
Man, imagine
that is crazy.
Imagine Mark Sanchez was just our guy, was playing out his last couple of years right now.
Yeah,
it just feels so long ago. It's like,
yeah, why couldn't Mark Sanchez be our Joe Flacco? Why couldn't he be our Philip Rivers? Why couldn't he be there for 12 years? It didn't happen.
Man. Damn.
And then Flacco had like the end of career trajectory that Mark Sanchez did, but he's playing more. Where Mark Sanchez was on like the Eagles,
yeah,
he was on the Redskins.
He was good on the Eagles, Mark.
Oh yeah, he brought them back into that playoff race.
Yeah, they were good. I think they went 9-7 that year, or 10-6, and did not make the playoffs, which famously bit the Jets in the rear in 2015.
Oh yeah, and this guy, Mike, coming up here, I think will stay at the top of this category. Ahmad Sauce Gardner. I'll tell you this, Mike.
Yeah.
I will never forgive Jet fans for being down on this guy for having a bad tackling quarter of a year. And God forbid that your all-pro corner doesn't tackle a guy well in a 28-7 game that leads to a first down. I can go to bed at night knowing that it's okay. Now, was he as good in 2024 as he was in 2022 and 23? No. But he was still great. And at the end of the year, you had the classic 5 straight games of 2 catches for 13 yards and no touchdowns. Like, he is that good. And there's certain guys you have to give a pass to when they give up a 25-yard pass that is going to happen. It almost never happens with him. But, Mike, would it surprise you if Aaron Rodgers hits a guy up over the middle for 25 yards in the second quarter and everybody's tweeting out that Sauce Gardner is overrated and we shouldn't pay him? Like, if you're that type of fan, find a new team, find a new sport, because this guy, you can't get any better than.
Well, that's just the way, I don't know, the way that the world sentiment is going is just so immediate reaction to everything. The internet doesn't help. I don't know. I don't know if this is always how things were. I feel like it's become more that way. But the Sauce example that you just made is such a great example where you get down on a guy who's just been so terrific, has said nothing but really great things off the field, said he wants to be a Jet, signs a long-term contract with the Jets. And just to show how great Sauce was the 2 years prior, the Jets were still the 3rd overall defense in terms of yards last year and the 4th in terms of passing yards in football. And Sauce and DJ Reed had down years. So just to show you how dominant they've been.
But it wasn't always like that, Mike. It really wasn't. Right. Back in the day. It wasn't like that, because I remember when Revis got beat for a touchdown, we'd be like, holy fuck, good on that receiver. Like Stevie Johnson went on, okay, good for him. Like he has his number today. Perfectly fine. It happened with the first take, you must say something insane to get a click and a reaction, rather than the old Sports Center when it was, hey, you have an hour of highlights that you get to watch and have a little bit of commentary over. There wasn't a need for an immediate reaction. And it's with everything in life, the Politics answer is always in the middle. Yeah. It's always in the middle somewhere. Now, can Sauce Gardner tackle better? He'd be the first one to say, yes, I can. Did he have a down year compared to 2023 and 2? He did. But he's still a top 5 corner in a down year, and that's why you pay him. So if you're out on him, I don't know what to tell you. You can't find a better guy to lead your team. And even though he's not a captain, not everyone can be a captain, a vocal leader. But you know who is a captain and a top 5 player or a best player is Garrett Wilson, Mike.
Let's go. Our boy, G-Dubs. And yeah, Garrett, even the similar to Sauce, no off-the-field issues. We had the speculation about the Davante Adams and the targets and stuff, but Garrett Wilson never said anything and never did anything and plays every second, plays like a maniac, signs a long term deal with the team. Nothing but just what a pleasure to root for these guys. And finally, the Jets have a core of guys that we get to root for a few years and try to make a couple runs. And I just can't wait to see these guys make the playoffs at some point. It's gonna be fun.
I'd love for him to be our Mike Evans, where you look back in 8 years and say he had 12 straight years of 1,000 yards. He stuck through the bad times, got a ring, kept it with the team in a rebuild when they Bucs bring in Baker and didn't move. Like kept going, kept fighting. And then the other thing about Garrett too is he only had 7 touchdowns in his first 2 years, and 2 of them happened in week 2. So you look at it, he went, quick math, 30 games scoring 5 touchdowns. And then the Aaron Rodgers comes in. He scored 7 last year. So his production went up, even though there's a little bit of that dispute. Keep the momentum going with Justin Fields, a guy that you know, and fuck it. He's a captain, man.
I'm fascinated to see what the Jets passing offense is going to look like. But we did look at 2022 Justin Fields, his most prolific passing season, which was not a lot of yards, but he threw for like 2,200 yards. And DJ Moore had 1,300 yards receiving. So you could, it's possible. It might have been 2023, but whichever year it was, DJ Moore, 90 catches, 1,300 yards. So the Jets are going to throw the ball to Garrett Wilson, a majority of the time almost. So we'll see. I'm very excited to see if he can continue, because that was the one thing where it's like, all right, Garrett Wilson doesn't like Rodgers was the rumor. It's like, all right, but you want Justin Fields who doesn't throw.
And DJ Moore had a great year with Justin Fields when he played. So you can have a productive number one receiver.
That's what I'm saying. He had 90 catches for 1,300 yards.
Yeah. So I think that's fine. Mike, let's rattle off a position group here. Or I think Joe Tippmann's going to have a solid year. I think Josh Myers is going to do his job. Yep. Lord knows who's going to play like center. If John Simpson can't go week 1, is Joe Tippmann going to play guard? Are they going to want to shuffle pieces around? Like everything in my heart tells me for some reason they want Josh Myers to be the center. Like I don't know why I can't get that feeling out, but for now I want to put Myers and do your job, Tippmann in having a solid year.
Well, it feels like that because Joe Tippmann's a third-year guy who we love, who's a young offensive lineman, and instead of just being like, hey, Joe Tippmann's our center, they did a whole camp battle, and Josh Myers played with Justin Fields at Ohio State. So I don't think your point is wrong at all. I feel like the Jets are kind of just waiting till the last second. But if Tippmann plays, I think he should definitely have a solid year.
Yeah, and Hennessy we can throw up in the do your job, right?
Literally do your job. Do not do anything else.
He's the poster boy of the Thomas Hennessy do your job tier.
He has to be the first guy. He can't mess anything up. Wow, what about Brees?
If we put him in solid year on the graphic, people will start a riot and they'll find our address, they will dox us, and they'll try to murder us when we're going to bed. That doesn't mean I don't have high expectations for him. He'll probably end up in that tier, but you can very well make the argument for him to be in that third tier.
I think he's going to be in the great season. I really don't understand this is like the Garrett Wilson. So Garrett Wilson's in a tough spot. Breece Hall and Braylon Allen are in insane situations. Unless Braylon Allen is literally Derrick Henry this year, and they just have to run him 350 times. Breece Hall, Matt, the last 2 years, he had 1,600 scrimmage yards in 2023 and 1,360 in 2024, and he missed one of the games, and he didn't run the ball. Like, they just did not run the ball a lot. So I think Breece is going to be all over the place. I think he's going to catch 1 million passes. I'm very, very high on Breece this year. Years off of the injury, big plays, good offensive line, running style team. I do not understand the Breece negativity. And plus, Breece is in the last year of his contract. The Jets they could run him into the ground if they want.
They could. If it is a great year, you can tag him, right? Totally in play.
Tag.
I think drops bother me with Breece Hall.
Yeah.
And they continue in training camp.
Fumbles too. Did he fumble a lot? Yeah, he had 6 fumbles last year. Jesus.
And it always felt, man, like it felt where if Davis and Allen got a carry, like the offensive line just maybe did better, opened up more holes, or his vision was poor. Like I can't tell the difference. I'm not watching all 22 film, but there's times where it's like the Ty Montgomery unlucky where he kept getting like 10 yards but had a holding penalty every time. Like why? It just felt like the holes weren't open for Brees Hall. And maybe it's the vision. There was a clip in the Packers game where he had a huge hole. He didn't cut through it.
He
Got
still had a
1
decent
yard.
year though, Matt. He had basically 900 yards and he averaged 4.2 yards a carry, which is fine. But he does not do the fall forward. Most carries are 4 yards. Instead, he'll have a 10-yard rush and a 0-yard rush.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. I'm excited about it. I think there's a lot of big play potential there, and I think they just have to give him the ball more. There's just so many more handoffs, Matt, that are gonna come. The Jets ran the ball last year. Let's see, 363 times. I would be shocked if it's not 500 this year. Teams run the ball 500 times. Like Aaron Glenn brought up the Eagles. Let's see how many times they ran the ball last year, and they obviously moved the ball well, so that's part of it. But the Eagles ran the ball 621 times last year. So there are ways. Detroit. That's probably a better. They never played last year. Wow, that would have been easy. 2024 Lions. Let's see. Detroit ran the ball 534 times last year, so you can get up in the 500s.
Be in the middle.
So that's how you have running backs. Jahmyr Gibbs had 250 carries, and David Montgomery had 185, but he missed 3 games, so he would have ended up with over 200 as well. You can get both your running backs 200 carries, Matt.
Agreed. No qualms for me. We can maybe throw Ruckert and Lazar in the below average year. I feel bad. Maybe like we make that tier like Jets Twitter hates them.
We could do misunderstood Jets.
Potentially misunderstood because they're not.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason. Alan Lazard could have his own category of making $11 million a year, but somehow not a horrible contract. Just Twitter hates them.
Okay.
I like
let's see. I think we can put McNamara and do your job.
Yeah.
And
he might have a solid year.
You could maybe you could throw him in solid year.
I don't know. I wanted them to keep Morstead, but he looked like he was good in the preseason. I hope he does his job. You know what? I don't have that.
Yeah, do your job's going to be the most fit category. Like you're going to have the most people there. You
Yeah.
have guys like Tyrod Taylor, just do your job. We're cool with it. And you have guys like Brady McGregor. And wait, I saw something very unique. Where is he? So the Jets drafted with the Mike Williams trade pick Francisco Muaga, right? Out of Miami. He changed his name. Are you aware of this?
I have no idea. The linebacker?
Yeah.
What did he do?
He's now Kiko Muaga.
I love that. That adds. I think he's going to have a 2-year longer career than whatever he would have had.
Should we put him in the best Jets 2025 and like sneak him in there and just
your boy?
No expectations from
Kiko, and he has a similar last name to an ex-Jets linebacker, Josh Maga.
Yeah,
people forget. Went to the Chiefs after.
Oh, where do we go next, Mike? ABT.
Great season.
I think he could go higher. And I think in that contract year, as a captain, as like a force in the run game, man, I'd love for him to go higher. I'm fine with putting him in great. But
I still think he's a tier below. I think he's 1 tier below. I feel because remember there was the 1 year where he really was getting some. Hey, this guy could be an All-Pro this year.
I think it was first half of 2022 before he got hurt in Denver.
I think you're right. Exactly right. Him and Brees were destroying people, and I don't necessarily feel that strongly about it right now. But I think the Jets' offensive line could be in a place where you look up week 5 or 6 and you're like, wow.
Yeah, and another guy that will play anywhere at any time. He's now been a captain at all 3 levels of his football career. High school captain, college captain, now an NFL pro captain.
It's our boy.
Hype for him.
But I don't think he's – and I would put Quinnen in the top row.
Agreed. And now that he has more help and maybe he'll have a full healthy Jermaine, a Will McDonald, again, having a great year. But Mike, there are those games that you're like, Quinnen, give me that moment, right? Like, where is that moment?
Yeah.
And it's not his fault always, especially with the people that they put around him.
Yep.
But damn, like we know that elite talent is there, and we'll bet on him this year. But I need that like game changing play to come through, like a Chris Jones can do. Like,
Yeah,
give me
we need
that.
10 sacks. We need a fourth down stop. Just blowing shit up. I agree. And last year, and who knows? It's going to be interesting to see what the new scheme. Like the Jets played that 4-man front basically every play, and just did the wide ass pass rush. Maybe they're going to play a lot differently this year. It'll be interesting. It might help Quinnen's game. Who are you looking at, Matt?
I think I'm looking at Sherwood now, who I refer to as Hamza Nazardine.
Nice.
I don't think Sherwood's going to be the best Jet on 2025. I think he'll be a high expectation guy.
I even there or solid year. End of the like lowest great season.
I mean, he got all pro votes last year.
He was terrific, Matt. But we're looking forwards.
Yeah,
and I don't know. Like I think Quincy is better than him. Also,
I would agree. I'm fine with putting Quincy at like the high end of the great expectation. He again, like everybody felt like last year, regressed a bit from 2023. And it was weird.
Was disappointing last year, Matt.
We tend to blend 2022 and 2023 together, right? Like those seasons very similar, win 7 games, very different years though. Where 2022 it fell off at the end, 2023 it kind of got brought back up at the end, but they never got it done. The weird thing about 2023 is that's where I felt like even in the down games, Quincy was murdering people, like truly decapitating people. And 2024 didn't feel like that.
Yeah, and he made a few big plays in 24, but you're right. It's more of the monstrous hits come to mind in 23, like the Bronco game. He had was that 22? No, that was 23, where he had the fumble at the end. Bryce Hall picked it up.
Yeah,
they ran it for a touchdown. The big play this year, he killed Kyler Murray. Murray's head fell off of his body.
And did we not recover the fumble, or he didn't fumble it somehow?
He did not fumble it, but the Jets also. I think 2022 is the year where they didn't recover like any fumbles. They're like 0 for 15. Oh God, Jesus, it's exhausting. Not the tier list. The Jets' random lack of normalcy.
Yeah. A few guys I want to throw in the solid year are 2 high-end draft picks from this year is Armand Membu and Mason Taylor. I want to throw them in a solid year.
I have high expectations for Membu. I want him in that category. But
you do.
I think he's given more than a solid year. He's our another cornerstone tackle. Like these guys also like I'm so excited about Membu and Olu, but they like have to be good. They need to be good.
If they're that's where you build around. If you miss on those picks, everything goes back a bit. So you're right. You need them to be good. If we're throwing all the O line up there, do you think John Simpson after like a wonder year last year goes in the solid tier, or do you have high expectations for Johnson?
I think he could be the highest end of the solid tier.
I think that's fair.
Right. I think that's fair as well. Terrific year. Hard to quantify these things with offensive linemen, but watching the games, John Simpson opened up this hole, lack of pressures, and he's also he's nursing an injury, Matt.
Yep.
His back, his Johann Sebastian Bach, which you don't want as a lineman.
I do think Arian Smith, people are going to put in, he's going to have a solid year. I think he's like a high-end do-your-job guy. We're not asking Arian Smith to be a wide receiver 2 this year. We're asking him to make some plays, take the top off the defense. Are you any qualms about that?
Do we want to add some kind of like very young, raw kind of category?
We could do that.
You know what I mean? Like, because I feel like I have some expectations for him. I feel like I don't know what his job is to do, but I do. He seems promising. Like we could put him and Malachi. Unclear role, high promise.
think that's fair. Unclear role, high promise.
Yeah.
No concerns with that. And that's where you're gonna put. Oh, who do you want to put there?
We could put Isaiah Davis there also. We could put Arian Smith was the guy that I was thinking.
Well,
I
we
think
know what their
Braylon,
roles are. Like, do we put high promise?
do we know what their role? Like, what is Arian Smith going to do?
We know what Isaiah Davis is gonna do, though. That's my point.
Kinda. I know. I mean, he is the third running back. You could just do high. You could put high promise, but unclear playing time.
I like that.
Yeah,
Because
Isaiah Davis, we do know
Malachi
is
Moore.
he's right. Malachi Moore is like we know he's the second safety, or the second. What is he? He's a strong safety, and then you have Tony Adams and who's the Jets' fourth safety? Oh no, Isaiah Oliver. That's who it is. So he would be more of the free safety.
I'm trying to get everything to fit.
You could put a hyphen. It'll work. Damn it.
Unclear.
I mean, it's fine. Oh, there's a little space at the bottom.
I don't like that. It's my OCD kicking in. We'll figure it out. But
not
I think that's
clear.
Fair.
Yeah.
Not.
I think it's the same amount of words. It's probably more.
Bang.
Nice.
Bang.
Nice.
Okay. Anybody else that falls in here like
Put unclear back. I like unclear better. Yeah. You like that?
I think that's fair.
I think that.
Maybe we'll fit a few guys in there.
Well,
like Xavier Newman, I don't have expectations for him.
Yeah. Tyrod Taylor would be actually a funny guy to put in the unclear playing time high upside, but I don't know about that. We could leave him do his job.
I think Leonard Taylor could fit in there.
Yes, Matt.
There we go, Mike. That's why we do it. That's why we get paid the big bucks, and we're sponsored by a ton of different companies.
That's right. We don't want to name them though.
We can't. There's too many to name, and
exactly.
We have so many sponsors that they actually like counteract each other. Where we can't say Pepsi and Coke because they're both sponsoring Broadway Jets, so we have to be political,
politically accurate.
Okay. Where do we go next? We have Brandon Stevens, Mike.
You know what's interesting? What a strange free agent signing, right? Like he signs for a lot of money early in the cycle. You hear bad things about him from his previous organization's fans, Ravens fans. He has like a weird start to training camp where I don't know, you'll get some tweets like, oh, Brandon Stevens gets beat. But then he played pretty well in the preseason. I don't know where to put him. I'm hoping he does his job, but
I think he tore it up at the end of camp. Yeah. And he looked really good. I think he's a do your job guy. And you could probably argue that we look back on this at the end of the year and we say, damn, how did we not put him in solid year? He belonged there after what he did in camp and he plays great. But based on his track record, you probably can't put him there yet. Also, a great moment. I forget what team they played. I think it was a Bengals game. I found a video the moment they signed him of like Brandon Stevens like shuts down Jamar Chase, and it was Jamar Chase having like 8 targets and like no catches, and he was in like 1 play. But I tweeted it out to make it sound like he was great.
Listen, he does the way the Jets defense is constructed with Sauce on one outside, Michael Carter hopefully healthy on the inside. Should be a good pass rush. Couple of all-pro vote receiving linebackers. You just need him to hold up at that other spot.
Yeah, we have some guys like Quantez Stiggers now. Do you want to throw him and do your job or no expectation?
I mean, he could be in that unclear playing time high upside, but I don't have that feeling. I would rather put him in no expectations.
I agree. And it's not like these guys were not knocking. We just don't have anything for them. Mike Harrison Phillips, a new Jet.
I think he should go into solid year.
Love it. Love it.
That was a good move, Matt.
This is why we're best friends. We're just maybe
Huh?
we've never been like 2 tiers off on anybody
Not
ever.
once, 0 times. We need to get someone on the show who's just insane and just disagrees with us.
Oh, you know who's a great fit for the unclear playing time and high upside is AZ Thomas.
Azaria.
I love how this is shaping out.
Yeah, we needed that category. There was just it's hard because you don't know we don't know much about these young guys. But I do agree. I like his upside as well. Matt, I'm looking at Harrison Phillips' stats. Like some crazy years. He had 92 tackles in 2023 as a defensive lineman. That's nuts. Wow.
Pretty good.
56 last year, still very nice. Couple sacks. But I mean, he started the last 51 games for Minnesota. Wow. Yeah, but AZ Thomas, Matt, your boy Connor Rogers, high on him.
Yeah.
Outside corner build.
I'll say this, and he'll never probably watch this video or make it that far. He's been in the program before. The Jets fans are very lucky to have Connor Rogers. Like, very lucky that we can point to him and be like, top tier fan, elite account, knows what he's talking about, knows every draft prospect, calls it out in the SMY post game. He's not a show for the team at all. He'll call out when they play great. He'll call out guys when they play bad. Very lucky that we have Connor Rogers as a Jet fan.
He's a very good follow. We got to get Connor back on the program soon.
What about Jay? Too big to fail to folly.
I don't know. I mean, he had
job?
that crazy preseason game, but does that mean like coming other than that, I wouldn't really have many expectations, but I mean, the guy, I'm looking at his stats as a half of a sack in his career. Maybe just do the job. The Jets suddenly matter just very deep at defensive tackle, which is awesome.
Out of nowhere. Like,
Out
you
of
wake
nowhere.
up and they're just it's very
That there was a rumor that they were going to cut Leonard Taylor, which we would have been pissed off about because he's shown some flashes.
Yep. Max Mitchell, I think, is a poster boy for do your job because he does do his job when he's in there. I have expectations for him to not be Chuma Edoga when he gets brought in the game.
I don't hate him either. Him and the Jets also have very deep offensive line, Matt, with between Josh Myers and Mitchell and Okorafor, Carter Warren. It's like NFL kind of guys. Like if Carter Warren comes into a game, I'm not like the season's over.
Yeah.
If he plays for if he has to play 15 games, then our season's probably over. But
let's go to Chukwuma
Okorafor. Same thing. Do your job.
I think he's a Jet Twitter enemy, to be honest.
Really?
I do.
I don't know. Is that true?
Yeah. He's not well liked. I
Throw
would put
him
him in
in
no
there,
expectation, to be honest. The fact that he quit on the Patriots after one game and he had like a point, I think his PFF grade in the Packers game was like the funniest thing ever.
Like,
I think his PFF grade was like an 8 out of 100.
They should well, maybe he just hates the Patriots. He's a loyal Jet fan and he went there to sabotage them. Like Aaron Glenn wouldn't take an interview. Who else we got? We got Jermaine on there.
Let's go with Stone Smart. Why does he look like he weighs 100 pounds?
Oh, he looks like his head's like an hourglass. That's him on the right?
That's him.
Why is he's shaped like his like cheeks are too thin.
Yeah, he's like a tiny guy, and he's our tight end too.
I have not many expectations for him. I don't even know what doing his job would be.
I agree.
But hopefully they'll use him creatively and gadget kind of guy that, maybe if Ruckert's more of a blocking kind of tight end too. By the way, Matt, Mason Taylor, where's he? We put him in
solid year.
Nice.
We could put him in high upside. I want to bet on him though.
I like him. I think he's gonna be good.
Yeah. All right, Isaiah Oliver.
I like Isaiah Oliver, but I don't think
middle of do your job.
A lot of safeties, Matt, in do your job. A lot of safeties.
Where do you have our? Sorry, go ahead.
Well, it's interesting because the Lions had really good safeties the last couple of years in Kirby Joseph and what's his face, Brian Branch. So we'll see how Aaron Glenn's defense operates. Maybe it'll allow these guys to show off and play great, or the Jets defense or the Jets are going to have to upgrade that position at some point.
Agreed. Where do you have our number 2 wide receiver, Josh Reynolds?
I would have him in do your job also. I don't know if he's going to have a solid year. I don't think this is the year whereas before, again, we're talking about Brees and Braylon. This is the year to bet on the Jets running backs. I'm not betting on great statistical seasons from the ancillary receivers, but I think he's a solid guy and no issue with having him on the roster. But I feel like maybe even Alan Lazard will be more of the two, but we'll see how they kind of do it.
Yeah, I also think that if he could have a Jermaine Kearse light year, that would be good. And also, we could look back, and if the Jets are running the ball that effectively, he could be a key part of it as a blocker.
Yes.
And if he's doing his job on the outside, that's his job, and he's doing it well.
Because Lazard also is supposed to be a good blocker. So
supposed to be, and then he lines up illegally, and then has a holding penalty. Kene and Wangwu. I think that's high upside, Mike.
All right.
Let's
in
bet
the return
on him.
Game?
Let's bet on him. Let's have an equal distribution here, which we're doing a pretty good job of so far.
I feel like every time this guy returns a kick, it goes like to the 40-yard line at least.
I love it, dude. I love it.
The
and
Jets,
he ran the ball. Yeah. He showed in the preseason, albeit against backups, that he could run the football for 4.5, 5 yards. He could do it.
Yeah.
A one-cut guy that could just do it. Where if you have an injury to one running back, and then halfway through the game, you have your 2 go down, he can give you 8 carries, and you cannot just have nothing, right?
Right. It's not a disaster. And Matt, I did not know this until 1 second ago when I just typed it in. He has 4 career kick return touchdowns. 4. That the record is like 9. So we might have the greatest kick returner in the history of sports on our team. Do you know who holds the record for most kick return touchdowns in the NFL?
I feel like it's not Devin Hester.
It is not Devin Hester.
It's.
I mean, you do know the guy, so it's not a trick question.
Cordell Patterson.
That is correct. Cordell Patterson has the most. And I think there's a stat. Leon Washington would have a share of the record, but there's one play where he's on the Titans or the Seahawks, and he's returning a kick for a touchdown, and he celebrates early and gets tripped up at the 1-yard line.
That is
which
tough.
is a hilarious stat. Yeah, Leon Washington is 8. So
a great Leon Washington note is that in our hometown Applebee's, there is a Jet mural. Maybe it's not. I should rephrase that. Our hometown Applebee's has our regional high schools on the wall. The Applebee's by my house currently used to have the Jets on one wall, Eagles on another, and the Jet one was Leon Washington returning a kick.
Wow. Leon Washington, terrific Jet. 4 kick return touchdowns with the Jets. 4 with Seattle. And then Tennessee had a 95-yard return that was not a touchdown that he celebrated early, which I think is hilarious.
Mike, we got one more guy before we get to 3 top-tier guys that we'll debate where they fit. McCray Ball, we have not talked about this guy at all. And he comes out, a special teams captain, talked about highly by Aaron Glenn and his staff. We could throw him and do your job. We can throw him in no expectation. We can throw him in high upside.
I really have no expectations, but it's nice to see lower roster guys make an impact in the locker room, on special teams. I don't know, is he going to do his job? Is he going to high upside as a player? Is he more of a vocal guy? I don't really know much about him personally.
Can I make a play here? I would love for the graphic to throw him and do your job.
Yeah.
And I'd like to take someone from do your job and bring them down a tier if we could.
Okay.
Too big to follow. Could he go in no expectation?
I personally don't have many expectations for him. He's a guy like last year where the Jets had a bunch of pass rushing guys in the preseason, like Braden McGregor and Tack McKinley, who didn't do anything during the regular season. So,
okay, I like it. And then
I feel like we have to
go ahead.
We got to talk about the order that do your job, though.
Yeah, we'll break that down.
Okay,
definitely. All right, Will McDonald, Jermaine Johnson. Where do they fit in?
I think they're in the second category.
I want to make a case for Jermaine being in the top category because we're betting on 2025.
Right.
I feel like he's gonna go nuts. I think he's gonna have a monster year.
I love it. You could do it, man. I love it. If it wasn't coming off an Achilles injury, I would be more keen.
We'll put them here for now, but I feel like we have to jump somebody from great to being a top player. We can't have 3 top players. We got to have 4 to 5. And I want to bring someone up. And I think, gun to head, the guys I'd argue to bring up is Jermaine, AVT, and maybe those two. I think the other ones have question marks. Quincy down. Olu still we don't know. Mike Carter has been hurt. Brees has not been perfect. Sherwood maybe a one-hit wonder. Membu we can't put up there. And I don't think McDonald goes there. So AVT and Jermaine are the only two I can make an argument that they should be there.
If Braylon Allen didn't exist, I would have Brees up there, but it's a lot. Quincy is the guy who really deserves it from the last couple of years, but he did have, you're right, kind of a down-ish year from the last couple of years last year. I'm happy to do it, man. If you want to throw AVT and Jermaine up there.
Maybe we do I think you made a fair point to keep AVT here, and I think the Achilles is a fine argument.
Yeah.
Maybe we call this like the 2025 Mount Rushmore.
I like
and we
that.
put 4.
I like that. You want to put Jermaine up there?
I think I'm going to bet on him. I don't know. I just want to bet on him.
Let's go.
Fuck it.
It's our boy. If Matt, if this pans out, depending on what we do with Fields right now, if this pans out and Jermaine Johnson is that good in 2025 to be considered with Sauce and Garrett and Quinnen Williams, the Jets are going to have an insane defense.
Yeah. But I look back at I know it's fair. Because even the 2022 and 2023 Jets defenses were very fun to watch.
They were great.
All these guys
were great. Yeah. They really were. They were statistically and performatively great, even with weird coaching, although Sal is probably a good defensive coach. But Matt, this is makings of a good team because you have your whole offensive line in the top tiers. You have playmakers on offense up there. You have 3 of your defensive guys in the top tier. It's a lot of good players, Matt. The Jets have about 20 actually good players on this team. Now, what do we do with Fields?
He can only go in 3 categories. So he's either in a do your job, solid year, or great, high expectation.
What is a solid year? That's what we have to.
I mean, we've talked about it before. A solid year is like 63% completion, more touchdowns than picks, throwing for maybe 3,000 yards and rushing for 750, 800. Like, I don't know.
That's exactly what I was thinking. If Fields does that, I think the Jets are going to win 9 or 10 games, Matt.
He's got to be at the low end though. If we put him in solid year, we don't know yet. And again, this is a prediction model. A do your job year might even be like 2,800 yards, 15 and 11. Like he did his job then, but
that's what and run for 800 yards and keep your team in the game. That's what it is.
Where do you want to put him?
I like the low end of the solid year. I do think he's going to be pretty good. Like, especially because, Matt, all the things we talked about again, hopefully the coaching staff is going to reflect a lot on this too. But you're going to have you have skilled guys, you have a very good offensive line, and you have what should be a pretty good defense. The roster is good. It's going to be a lot of Fields. And Matt, the most yards Fields threw for in a season is 2,560 in 13 games. So he basically threw for 200 yards a game, 197, which is about a 3,400 yard passing season, which is fine.
And that Bears O-line was bad, Mike.
Yes,
bad.
And that's also partially, I think, on him holding the ball a lot, people say. But this offensive line, you're right, should be a lot better. In that season, he ran for 50 yards a game, which is, what is that? 850 yards. So, yeah, that's what we're saying. 3,400 yards passing, 850 rushing. Don't turn the ball over a lot. If he does that, the Jets should have a chance to win a lot of these games.
I need to rant about Connor Hughes for a minute regarding Justin Fields.
Yeah.
So Connor went on his show with Zach Rosenblatt. Both fine gentlemen. We're friends with Connor. And he took 2 opportunities during that show to unfairly bring up you and me and
I
our
didn't even
takes
listen to it yet, but I need it.
without getting a chance to defend ourselves. And I think he like misrepresented what we were saying and then texted us and was like, hey, gave you guys a shout out. I'm like, that shout out was terrible, one, and it was wrong. So first take wrong is Tommy DeVito. Him saying that Tommy DeVito is a good backup. Everyone's overreacting. Tommy DeVito is not a good backup.
No.
Is he a fine QB3 at the add him to practice squad? Do I care? No. And he is a backup for the Patriots. So they did take him as a backup. Tommy DeVito, I know it was his first NFL game. His team was afraid to throw the ball with him, and he had -1 passing yards in a full NFL football game, which should be memed to death. Like the Nathan Peterman game gets brought up forever. What Tommy DeVito did is more impressive, throwing for -1 yards on like 2 of 7 passing. And then in like 14 out of 15 games, he's never reached 200 yards. So don't tell me Tommy DeVito is good. He called that out in the show as if we were like, he's the Antichrist. No, we're saying we don't really want him. And I'd rather have Mike White 10 out of 10 times as a QB3. And that take is irrational. That's one, Matt O'Connor. 2, he is dead wrong about our Justin Fields takes. He thinks that we said Justin Fields is going to be great this year.
Nope.
All we said was, Connor, instead of going to Twitter and texting us and talking about how Justin Fields looked bad at camp and this is a nightmare and he's not going to be good, maybe, just maybe, we let the first quarter of the season play out and not overreact, because guess what? He looked good against the Packers in his one drive. He looked bad in the second game. Okay, now what are we going to do? How about we wait for weeks 1 through 4 and reevaluate? And we don't have the highest expectations. We didn't want him to be our quarterback. We wanted Aaron Rodgers. It didn't happen, and we were fine with pivoting to Fields. But don't act like we think he's going to win the MVP. So I was very down on Connor because he was like, I was telling them that he's not going to be that good.
Well, it also sucks where if you're arguing with a guy like Connor who will just change his opinion if the other thing happens, then it's like, all right. So if Justin Fields plays great, he'd be like, okay, Justin Fields is good. But then he'll do it too fast. So we're trying to talk to Connor about how things work.
Everything we're saying on the show, we have told him with way harsher language in our group chat. And I found a million tweets of Connor being like, Baker Mayfield sucks. Baker Mayfield's great. Like, we can't base our opinion on watching them play football for a quarter and have this outlandish take. Like, I think Connor believes Tua is like the 28th quarterback in the NFL when he's not. He's not. He's one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the past 5 years.
He also led the league in passing yards. The Dolphins led the league in points scored with him as the quarterback. So, like, and then the Rodgers stuff last year would be like week 8. And he's like, Rodgers sucks. Like, using words like that. And we're like, Connor, you realize, like, if you, all right, fine, cut Rodgers. And then he plays great the next 8 games. Like, oh, actually, he played pretty well. If you cut the guy, if you get rid of the guy, you can't use him anymore. You can't go back and forth so much. You can change your opinion based on new information, but it's just too much.
You can also say Tua is overrated and have that take. Perfectly fine. He doesn't suck. And the Rodgers thing was bothersome to us because we were saying it's there. We see it. And after week 3, when they're 2-1, it was, this is the best quarterback I've ever watched. In practice, he's amazing. And they have down. I think we're still recording.
Hey,
I think we're recording.
It looks like it's recording. The time is continuing.
God, that was terrifying. I was like, did we do an hour show and then we kept it going too long to hate on Connor? And
it looks like it's still recording.
I need to look at what the video looks like during that 10-second interval. I was freaking out. Okay.
I wonder what happened.
Now we rearrange, Mike. Top tier, fine.
Right. I agree in that order. The great. So like if Will McDonald has the same year he does last year, where does that maybe put AVT near the top? I like Quincy at the top or second.
I think Michael Carter probably lower end. I think Bruce higher end.
Yep.
I think Membu is bottom end.
Yep.
McDonald over Sherwood.
I think this is great right here. Maybe switch Brees and Olu.
Fair. I like that.
This is really good. That's a lot of good players, Matt, the Jets have. Look at all these guys. These are real guys.
Do we hype them up too much, you think? Is it on us?
I don't think so. I actually think they're like NFL accolade driven guy. Like Garrett Wilson, 3,000 yards. Sauce All Pro. Quinn All Pro. Quincy All Pro. Sherwood All Pro votes. And then like the young guys, we got to see. Will McDonald, 10 sacks.
Yep. So we got Simpson, Nick Folk, Allen, Tippmann, Taylor. Taylor probably lower end here, Mike.
Probably maybe put Fields in front of like switch Fields and Taylor. But is this truly what we think? Like
I think John Simpson's going to be very good. I think Nick Folk is going to make a lot of cases. I think Braylon Allen might be the top of this tier for me.
Yeah, let's go.
Tippmann, I have high hopes for going to be better than John Simpson.
Let's do it.
Harrison Phil, I think the bottom tier is fine here.
That's fine too. Unclear playing time upside. Maybe Malachi Moore at the top.
I like Malachi Moore there. I think Aaron Smith fine. Isaiah Davis maybe hops him.
Yeah.
We got Leonard Taylor we like.
Right. The other guys, AZ Thomas needs.
And Wagwu is probably here.
Yeah, I like that.
Let's do your job last. No expectations. I think it's a crapshoot anyway. Do we care about that?
No.
I do want to rank the Twitter enemies because I think Alan Lazard is the best one out of this group.
Are we? Is that? So being the best Twitter enemy, this still is an order of good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's fine.
I would put Ruckert over Gibson. I hate Ruckert less than Gibson for sure.
Okay. Now we do our job. I feel like we have to keep Hennessy at 1 because he's the poster child every year for this category.
Right. I want Andre Cisco closer to the top.
We got that. We can make that work. Boom. We like McNamara.
Yeah. I also like Josh Reynolds. I just hope he does his job. Like him and Tony Adams, like real starter kind of guys.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Who the Josh Myers? He might have to go up more.
Yeah, he's going to play a role. He's going to be the first O lineman off the bench, probably, unless the tackle goes down and they don't want to play AVT at tackle.
Pretty good.
Man, this is a really good tier.
We did a fucking hour, Mike.
I really like this tier.
If you made it this far, please DM us and say you're a diehard Broadway Jet fan. Do we have a name for our listeners?
Do we have a name?
No.
Broadies.
Not bad.
No.
Broads.
Broads. BJs.
Do you meet any broads up in the in Long Island this weekend?
In the Hamptons? Yeah. I don't kiss and tell, Matt.
Have we done a pod since my wedding?
Maybe one. Didn't we do one last week?
I don't think so.
When was your wedding? Was your wedding last week?
It feels like a year ago.
Wow, that was what a great wedding. Yeah. Great venue, food, perfect weather. All of our high school friends and your college buddies, who we all know, we're all pretty close at this point.
That was great.
Long wedding, vicious amounts of alcohol. Holy shit! Did you take a picture of the thing?
I did.
Good.
I did. All right. We'll wrap it up. Mike, have a good week, buddy. Happy Labor Day.
All right, bro. Get up.